Alright, so, as the title of the stream says, I'm doing a Marvel Rivals tier list. I figured that, I already made a post in the server that I would be making a tier list after day one, so that's what I'm going to do. This is a day one Marvel Rivals tier list. I played a ton of the beta. I think a lot of those placements are still similar. I think a lot of the characters are still similar. But we're going to go through this. I'm going to try and keep it pretty brief. My last tier list was over an hour long, so here we go. Okay, let's start with Captain America. Captain America, I think it's a character that does okay, but not anything super well. I think that he struggles to confirm kills, but he is quick, he has fast rollout, and his ultimate provides support for the entire team. I think that his shield is the worst of the tanks that hold shields, Magneto and Doctor Strange. And his damage is also not the best between the tanks that are more offensive. He's an all-arounder tank that's meant to do everything okay, and I think he does that pretty well. Doctor Strange is a character that I think is a little bit better than Captain America. I think that his range allows him to do things that Captain America can't, even though he doesn't have the mobility that Captain America does. The portal is also one of the best ways to get away from things like spawn camping. To be able to place a portal, get to point immediately. It's good for backcapping. It's good for fast rollout. I think that Doctor Strange is a very versatile tank that knows how to get in, knows how to get out, and can really be that frontliner for the team. Hulk is a character that I think actually got a lot better from the beta. I think the fact that there are more characters that are melee allows Hulk to thrive because he can push in with his team now. I think that Hulk has a lot of opportunities to get in, kill the opponent, and jump back out. And I think that he's better than Doctor Strange and Captain America because of that. I don't think he's the best tank in the game, but I do think that he's a lot better than he used to be. Let's move these two down to C tier and then Hulk to B tier. I think that Hulk is pretty good, but I don't think that he's amazing. Venom. Oh, also, I've been playing, just for reference, I've been playing Rivals for probably about 10 hours in total. It's been 2 days now since release, so I have played all of the characters. I've spent most of my time playing Strategist, but I've played with all of the characters at this point. And then I also played about probably 25 hours in the beta, so I definitely have time in this game. I think that Venom is really good. He might be the best tank in the game. He has the fastest rollout of any tank. He can get to point immediately. He can get out of point immediately. He has the best self-sustainability in the game with his shields. I just don't think that Venom does a crazy amount of damage unless you're consistently landing headshots with him. So he can actually struggle. But I think overall that Venom is a very, very solid character. I think that he is one of the best tanks in the game. Potentially the best tank in the game, but I'll talk about some of the other ones as we go. Magneto is one of those characters that might be one of the best in the games. I think that Magneto... It's hard. Magneto, I had Magneto as the best tank in the game. Now with the nerf to Scarlet Witch's team up and with the amount of new characters, you're less likely to get that team up in a given game. So I think that these two characters are similar in power, just on different levels from each other. I think that Magneto plays a lot more defensive and good at poking. Venom plays a lot more aggressive. Typically, I think these two work really well together as a tank. Magneto's ult is not particularly good. Everything else in this kit is. He has good poke, he has good tools, his shield is helpful. His barrier that he puts on people is an incredible ability. That gets a character like Spider-Man in for free. So overall, I think Magneto is a really, really strong pick. I think that if you're looking for tanks to play, Venom and Magneto are probably the best ones. Speaking of good tanks, I think that Groot is a solid B tier character. I think that his walls help make space for characters that need it. They allow characters like Moon Knight to push around walls. They allow Magic, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Psylocke, any character that wants to be close and personal to get in a lot easier and use cover. His ultimate is incredible, pulling everyone together. I think that Groot is just this really, really, really well-rounded character that thrives with a good team behind him. I just don't think that he has a lot of carry potential. I don't think you can do a lot with Groot on your own if you're solo maining Groot. But I do think that he's a very consistent character. Penny was the worst tank in the game on the beta. I think that now, with more maps in the game and better strategy in the game, that Penny is better than Doctor Strange and Captain America. Hyper defensive tank. She's extremely good at getting other people to come to her. Playing Penny on defense is just incredible. I think she is the strongest defensive kit in the game. But I'm putting her below the other four because I think it's also incredibly map dependent. If you're on Tokyo 2099, Penny is, I think, the strongest tank. But if you're playing on Clintar or Hydra base, then I think Penny's worse than all four of these. So overall, I'm going to put Penny below them because I think she's just very, very rigid in when you can and can't play as her. The final tank is Thor. I think that Thor is an A-tier tank. I did not think much of Thor when I started playing, but as I've seen more, I think that Thor has gotten better, not worse. I found that Thor works on any map with any team composition. He works as an off tank or as a main tank. This character is extremely good. I'm excited for people to learn him more, to see what he can do. I don't think I'm going to put him above Venom and Magneto, though. I think those characters just have very, very well-tuned kits, and Thor can only use one ability at a time, where the other just go on a 1-second cooldown. I think that just makes him a little bit clunkier than them, and maybe as players learn him more, we'll see. He also has a great team up with Storm and Captain America, but I don't think Captain America is particularly good. And he has a team up with Hela and Loki, so he's one of the characters that have two team ups, which make him incredibly good. I think that he's on the same tier as Magneto and Venom, just maybe not better than them. Okay, let's talk about the DPS. Black Panther, I think, is incredibly good. I think that Black Panther is incredibly good. I'd say he's probably better than Hulk. He is really good at picking a target, diving in, killing them, diving out. He's similar to a multitude of characters. All of these melee dive characters, but I think that Black Panther still does it really well. There's a couple of characters who do it better, and you'll see them as we go. But I do think that Black Panther is very, very strong, and he does what he does very well. Just find a target, kill them, and then move on to the next. Hela is, I think, stronger. She is the best long-range character in the game, but aside from one, even Black Widow has fall-off. Hela can do it from farther distance with bigger damage. She does take a lot of difficulty to aim with, but overall Hela's just so strong. She gets a team up to Thor and Loki, which is a good tank and a good Vanguard. A good Vanguard and a good strategist. I think that Hela's very, very, very strong. She has a really good ult too. Overall, just an excellent character. Iron Man, I think, is a little bit underwhelming in some ways. I think that when you have a Hulk on your team, he's a lot better. I think he's really aggravating to fight. A good Iron Man who's using cover on the ceiling can deal a lot of damage to your team, especially if you're running melee characters. And his ultimate is, I think, the single strongest ultimate in the game aside from Jeff's. Maybe Luna Snow's too. His ultimate is just incredibly powerful. I think Iron Man's a great choice. Magic is a character that I'm going to put in A tier. I think that Magic is a little bit better than Black Panther. I don't think any higher than that. She does kind of the same thing where she dives in to attack opponents, but her self-sustain is a lot better than Black Panther's, and right now you're usually going to have only one strategist per game, so Magic's ability to self-heal actually is extremely helpful for her and keeps her in the fight longer. Aside from that, she just does a bunch of damage. She has good dive tools, and overall it's just a really well-rounded kit. Moon Knight is tough. He's one of the newer characters. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and move these new characters down here. That's good. And then we can cover all of the old characters first. Yep. Let's go with Namor next. I think that Namor is a pretty bad character currently. I don't think that he sucks. I just think that he is... he struggles from nobody knowing the maps yet. I think that once Namor finds the best turret placements, he's probably going to become a lot better. When people learn how to use his projectile, he's going to become a lot better. But as of now, I think that you don't get enough value from the turrets to make it worth it. And you have to be extremely good with his primary fire to land it consistently for the same value that you would get from someone like Hela, even just landing body shots. Scarlet Witch is incredibly good, but the Queen has fallen. She is not the same character she was in the beta. She is weaker. They also removed her team up with Magneto in a huge way. They nerfed it substantially. It's not removed. You can still use it. But it is not the behemoth of a move that it was in the beta, giving Magneto more damage than the duelists. I do still think that she's probably better than Thor, but I would probably put her below Hela. I think that Hela is a better character than Scarlet Witch right now. If the Hela can aim. If not, then Scarlet Witch would be better. But overall, I think Scarlet Witch is still a great character. She still has one of the best disengagement tools in the game with her double fade. Her grenade is super powerful for stunning people, especially transformation ults, just getting frozen for a second is a huge help. Good character. Spider-Man is also a really, really strong character. I do think that he is worse than he was in the beta from the amount of characters that have been added. I think that it becomes harder for Spider-Man to get away with what he was doing in the beta, but I do still think he's better than Black Panther. Only by a little bit. I think that Spider-Man is a great character. Good choice. Star-Lord is tough. I think that Star-Lord is probably a little bit worse than Iron Man. He has good mobility, and he has good tools, and he has a good ultimate. But I think that he just overall does a little bit less damage than all the characters above him, which makes it hard for him to stand out against them. That might change as time goes on. That's probably that's my initial impression of Star-Lord. I think that he's probably just a little bit below Iron Man because of his damage. If you're going to play Star-Lord, go for it. I still think he's a good character. Storm is also one of the best characters in the game. I am going to put her below Magic, though. I think that her damage boost and speed boost are pretty negligible. She does have a great team up with Thor, which is good, because Thor's a really good character. But overall, I've noticed a lot of Storms aren't able to seal kills, especially with their slow projectile. It can be very hard to find that second hit on a Spider-Man, a Jeff. So I think that she's really good. I think that she just struggles to get kills. Punisher is actually extremely good. I would even say that Punisher is probably... I would probably put Punisher below Storm. He's super good. He has a turret. He has his ultimate. Overall, just an excellent character. I think that Punisher is really, really good. Winter Soldier, I think, struggles. He has no sustainability, so if you're attacking someone and you pull them close to you, you have to get that kill pretty much immediately, or they're getting healed back to full, or you're dying in the process. Usually both. I do think Bucky's really strong, though. I think his abilities are really strong, and his ultimate is extremely, extremely powerful. We're moving on to our first S tier, which is Hawkeye. I think that Hawkeye's one-shots are absolutely insane. I thought the charge would take a lot longer to get, and they would decay faster, but it doesn't. Once you track a tank for a second, you can just flick shot one of the other characters. I think that he's incredibly good. I think that his ultimate, making the after images, makes him even better. Overall, I think Hawkeye's just this really, really, really strong pick, and I cannot recommend him enough if you're looking for characters to play in the season. I think that Psylocke is also really good. I'm going to put her below Punisher just to be safe. I've been playing a lot of Psylocke. I think she's a ton of fun. I'm just not 100% sure if she's better or worse than some of the other DPS above her, because her DPS numbers are a little bit hard to grasp. I don't really know if she's a high damage character or a low damage character. It's hard to get a feel for her right now, but I think that she's in that A tier cast of characters. Where exactly is probably going to be able to be moved, but I do think that Psylocke's a very strong character. Her stealth lets her get into the back line, and then she can kind of mow down those healers on her own time. I think that Squirrel Girl's probably top of B tier. I think Squirrel Girl's better than Black Panther and Winter Soldier. Her bombs do a ton of damage. They're basically Junkrat bombs. I think that she can struggle on maps that are wide open. She can struggle against flyers, and bouncing your nuts off of walls lowers their damage output. So she's pretty good. She's just not the best of the best. I think Black Widow is another S tier pick. I think that the range that she offers is incredibly helpful. The headshots do 240 damage, which is 10 less than all the main heroes' health pools. I think that her dash is super good to help her get back to point. Her batons are really good to help her confirm kills. Overall, Black Widow is a really, really, really good character. I'm glad she's in the game. I don't think she's problematic. The fall off hurts her from being a full-on sniper, unlike Hawkeye. So I don't think that she's super problematic, but I do think that she is one of the best characters in the game. I think that if you choose Black Widow, you are really, really doing your team a favor. Let's see. Iron Fist. I think Iron Fist is the best character in the game right now. His basic attacks do an insane amount of damage, and his combos with his abilities is a death sentence to every healer in the game. I think that Iron Fist is super good. I hope that Iron Fist and Hawkeye get a couple of tweaks over the next week or two. But overall, I think those characters are really, really strong. Moon Knight is okay. I actually think Moon Knight is probably weaker than Bucky. He might end up being higher than that. I think he's a character that relies on maps too. The onks placed in good locations are super, super, super devastating. But usually, more often than not, they're not much help to begin with because the Moon Knight could just hit their shots. I do think he's a really interesting character. He might end up being higher on the list, but I think as of day 2, this is where I'm going to put Moon Knight. Wolverine is really, really, really good. I think that Wolverine might be better than Punisher. He has this ability to just dive in, and when he gets to low HP, he can fill up his HP again with a meter that he gets, which is really powerful. I think that as long as you're doing your job... Who was I just talking about? Wolverine. Whoa, I just had like a hard blank. It is getting late. Okay, refreshing there. My brain just died. If you're playing as Wolverine, you're doing your job right. I think that you're going to be doing more damage than a Magic. But I think that Magic is so consistent, and she's so good at catching those healers that I think I'm going to put Wolverine below her for now. I think that Wolverine is a super good character, though. If you like the character, absolutely go for him. Don't feel pressured to play Magic over Wolverine. They're so close in the list anyways. Moving on to the strategists. I have a ton of fun with strategists. I think that they are all really, really good characters. I think that some of them are better than others. But overall, I do think that they're all really, really good characters. You can't go wrong picking a strategist. There is a strategist that is weaker than all the others, though. And unfortunately, I think that strategist is still Loki. I think that Loki is top of C tier. But he is still C tier for now. I want to see them buff his primary fire and its healing and damage output just a little bit. I think that'll fix his problems. I don't think that he's the worst healer in terms of like being bad. I just think that he's the worst healer out of the healers in the game. I don't think that he does as much healing or as much damage as the other 6 healers that he faces off against. The rune that he has is super powerful, though. Immortality Field is a great ability, and the fact that it just makes you completely immune to damage and heals you is crazy. I think that Loki's great. After that, I would probably argue that it's Adam Warlock. We're going to put Adam Warlock right below Black Panther. Adam Warlock is great at damaging, and he's great at keeping people alive and using his ult. I do just think that he's a little bit worse than the others because of his DPS output and his healing output combined. After that, I would probably say it's Rocket Raccoon. We're going to put Rocket Raccoon right below Psylocke. Rocket's really good. I think that he's really, really good with his team up with Bucky and Punisher, but if you don't have that, he's still a great character. I think he does good healing, he has a good primary fire, good abilities. Overall, Rocket's a good character. Jeff, I actually think Jeff is a lot better than he used to be. I'm going to put him right below Magic as well. I think that Jeff's healing output has changed a lot over the year, the 6 months or whatever since we played the beta. I think that he really feels like an important part of the team when you're playing as him, and then your secondary fire can help you guarantee kills. Luna Snow is also a character that's a little bit hard to judge. It's just a little bit early. I think that Luna Snow is really strong. I think that her ultimate is really strong. So I'm going to put her here. I actually think that Luna Snow and the last two healers are really game-changing to the core identity of the game. I think that Luna Snow can stop ults that should never be able to be stopped. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's just a part of her kit. Luna Snow's good. I think that Mantis is the second best healer in the game right now. I think that she's an S tier pick, probably above Black Widow. I think that if you're debating who to pick up, Mantis is amazing. Damage boost, sleep dart, she's got all of it. She's a really, really good character. And then I think the best healer in the game right now, I think Hawkeye and Iron Fist are still better than them, but it's Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger can switch between a healer and a DPS on a whim. I think those characters are super strong. I think they're super good. I can't wait to see more of them, and I'm biased because I'm maining them. There we go. That is the Marvel Rivals tier list. It was 25 minutes long, so once I edit it, it should be like 15, which is pretty good. I'll edit it and post it tomorrow, so have a good one. Deuces.